You are listening to The Diary of a Wannabe Writer, presented by Richard A. Boxshall, in which I chronicle my life and attempts to become a professional writer by, doing some writing daily, hopefully. Hello, it is Friday the 3rd of May 2024, and you are listening to The Diary of a Wannabe Writer, and you are listening to the diary of a very tired wannabe writer as we speak, because I've just had a very, very long day at work. I was hoping to do a live stream tonight and from a bit of writing from my hotel room in Edinburgh, and the reason is actually not because the internet's not good enough. I'll be honest with you, I haven't even looked to see if the internet's good enough tonight. The reason I'm not going to live stream tonight is because I'm very, very tired. I've had a very long day. I've had delays, and I've still got to get up at... My alarm call is at 3:30 tomorrow morning. I mean, that's not even technically, in my head, that's not even tomorrow morning, that's still later today. So, I probably won't be doing any live streaming today, just for pure being tiredness, which is a shame, but I'm in Uppsala in Sweden tomorrow, so hopefully I'll be able to do that there, but then it just depends, whether we get there on time and what else happens. I'm only going to be doing 2 flights tomorrow instead of 3, so hopefully I should be slightly less tired. I'm not really going to talk, this is meant to be a bit of a diary, isn't it? So actually, I don't have to talk about anything that's majorly going on, because nothing is. Although one thing I did do yesterday is I recorded the podcast yesterday and said, I haven't finished going through the list of agents in the Writers and Artists Yearbook, and that made me think, why not? I've got no reason not to, and I had brought it with me. Where I'm, on this work trip that I'm on, and it was actually sitting in the car. So I ran out to the car, grabbed it, and then when I had dinner yesterday at the hotel, I did actually sit down and go through the remaining 12 pages, and I can report that very happily that there are lots and lots of agents that I could potentially contact. But there are a dozen that have specified that they are interested or would encourage work from new writers, new authors. And so those are the ones I have concentrated on. So that's not the hard part of the process done by any means, but it is the part of the process I did say I'd have done by the 30th of April. So I lied. But anyway, that bit is done. So I've got a list of all the 12 and... on the 9th, so in 6 days' time, I'm meeting up with a friend of mine who you have heard on this podcast, and we are just going to go through the agents. What's lovely about technology these days is to get all the information about the agents. In the past, I probably would have had to type it all in, but all I did was photograph the relevant entries in the yearbook, and then use, an app on my phone just to scan them into text. So I've got a lovely little pages file with all the details, contact details, what their preferences are in terms of communication, kind of stuff that you can submit, genres and stuff like that. So that's all in one file. So I'm not going to email it to my friend, because it's quite a lot of it, and she might think I expect her to read through it all in advance, and I don't do that. But we're going to meet up next week and just go through the agencies, and I will go through them myself in advance and say, I think these are good picks because, however, what do you think? And just get some input and feedback from that. So yes, it's going to take a little time. The other thing I am going to attempt to do, but probably not until I get back home on the 7th, is actually look at the websites of these agencies. One of the great things is I've bought an app called Story, I can't remember, I'll tell you tomorrow. But it literally enables you to, I think I sort of vaguely talked about this before and then gave up and didn't tell the whole story. So on one tab you enter pieces of writing you want to sell, and on the second tab you enter the markets, which is whether it's a magazine or whether it's an agent that you're trying to sell it to, and then it actually records when you've submitted it, and tells you, so if they say we will get back to you in 16 weeks, if you haven't heard from us in 16 weeks, assume it's a no. So all that information can go into the app. So then when I do finally submit stuff to the agents, and that will depend, like I say, on their submission guidelines. They might want it in email, they might want a physical copy, they might want the first 3 chapters, they might want the first 50 pages, they will definitely want a covering letter, which I'm going to have to, a cover letter, which I will have to do. and they will want a synopsis, which I will have to do. And again, some of them want varying lengths of synopsis, so I might have to write more than one synopsis to tie in with what their agents want. Anyway, so what I will do before next week, before I meet up with my friend, is just have a look through the submission guidelines for each one and add that to the file, so I know exactly what I need to do to submit to that agency. So it's going to be a very slow process, because it says some of them will take 16 weeks to respond. There's one in there that says they aim to respond within 4 weeks, and I think that's amazing. I suspect the majority aren't able to do that, but so my whole plan for the next few days is to have a look at the submission guidelines over the next couple of days. Hoping to do a writing live stream tomorrow, but it really depends on my level of tiredness. I hesitate to use the word fatigue, because I'm just tired, not fatigued. And I will be back tomorrow to talk about where I'm at. Where I should be at. Where I'm at now is Edinburgh. Hopefully tomorrow I should be in Uppsala in Sweden, which is we're flying into Stockholm Airport, but we stay in Uppsala, and I'll let you know if my plans have progressed any further than that. That was a bit of waffle. I was so tired today. I nearly used one of my emergency podcasts that I've got recorded, because all I've literally got to do is enter an episode number and a date and press submit, and that's the podcast for the day. And I nearly did that today, so I didn't, and I'm very pleased that I didn't. I'll be talking to you tomorrow. Take care. Thank you for listening. Bye bye. You have been listening to The Diary of a Wannabe Writer, presented by Richard A. Boxall. Thank you for tuning in to my random ramblings, and if you'd like to know more about me or my projects, visit my link tree at linktr.ee/Richard Writes, capital R, capital W. Thank you for listening.